What's up, AF gang? Superman Daddy is taking over today, and I'm quite nervous because she usually don't bring the topics, but when she do, she spit the fiber. Other than that, Sissy, it's on you.
Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Superman's Daddy, in the building. And my mantra, what I live by is, I only speak up when it's necessary. Don't make it necessary for me to speak up. And first and foremost, let me say, I have missed all of you. I really, truly have. But I've been busy and everything, been handling business, staying out the way. Blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings. Amen.
Amen.
So I'm really, truly happy for that. And I'm glad to know that my people are doing all right. So let me go ahead and get on into this topic for the one time. I've been, talking to some folks, kind of like been having some heart-to-hearts and some things of that nature and such. And as I listen to what people have to say and kind of like the situations that they found themselves in, stuff that they're going through, whatever the case may be, the only thing I can come up with is that they're going through or being harassed by this little individual I like to call karma. Now, one thing that people don't always seem to realize about karma does not necessarily have to directly affect you. It could be, she could be going for somebody close to you.
Yep.
And if you're too dingy or if you're too stubborn to realize the signs when you see it, then I don't know what to tell you. Let's be honest. We all have people that we enjoy being around. They bring a certain something to the atmosphere. Might have a lot in common. Y'all have a good time when you come around and stuff like that. But you really have to be paying attention to what's going on behind the scenes with the people that you choose to associate with. Because for all you know, they might be getting some karma from some stuff that happened long before you ever stepped into the picture or whatever. And now here you are catching backlash from some foolishness that ain't never had anything to do with you, period. Now, I can give you a couple of examples as far as how karma likes to strike. First and foremost, if you're prone to getting migraines, 9 times out of 10, you're in a stressful situation or situations, and in some cases, they might necessarily not be your fault, and in other times, you done invited the stress right on in the front door. Okay? Now, I'll give you an example. Female I used to associate with some years ago kept migraines. And it was like, she went to the doctor and, they prescribed her stuff or whatever, but it's like they were like frequent, like debilitating, that excruciating pain. And for the life of her, she couldn't figure it out. So I said, well, you know what? Let's talk about it. Why don't you tell me what's going on in your life, this, that, and the third, and everything like that. I'm like, are there any issues going on and such? And she's like, well, no, my job is I'm making good money. I got a good job, got a nice place to live, got a car, everything like that. All right, cool. She said, everything is on the up and up. Okay, cool. Well, are you seeing anybody or anything like that? She said, I'm seeing a couple of dudes.
Whoa.
As a matter of fact, they're best friends.
Oh, Lord.
So you're dating best friends? She said, yeah. I said, and how's that working out for you? She said, well, I really don't have any issues because they're both married.
What?
Shut the front door and lock it. You heard what I said. So let me get this straight. You, a single female, are dealing with 2 married men who happen to be best friends. And you don't realize I said, okay, let me break this down for you, sis. The reason why you're having these debilitating migraines and stuff is is because you put yourself in a stressful situation. Okay? And if you think for 1 minute that the spouses of these two men don't know about you, you got another thought coming. If you think the best friends don't know that you're dating the both of them, you got another thought coming. Why would you pursue two married men when you could find somebody that's single just like you?
You know what I found out today, Superman?
What's that?
That those be the same ones that'll get divorced for the dude cheating. And they have no problems with dating married men.
And I was just like, she was giving me a headache telling me about it or whatever. So I said, you know what? No judgment. But in all honesty, I can't really truly say that I feel sorry for you.
Come on.
Because you already knew that these two men were married. I don't know what all they promised you or whatever the case may be.
I don't know what they could promise you.
Your soulmate is not somebody else's husband. Okay?
Hello.
Flat out. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I said, you can take it or leave it. It really doesn't matter to me because it's your situation, not mine. But I promise you, if you cut both of those loose ends, your migraines will go away.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, but I really enjoy both of them. I said, you know what, be that as it may. But I said, okay, let me say this. Based on what you're telling me, I'm going to stop talking because pretty much you just let me know with that statement right there that, yeah, you heard and understood what I said, but you're going to continue to do what you want to do because you're grown and you're perfectly entitled to that. But I don't want to hear you keep talking about how you got these migraines and, you know, you having to miss work and all this other stuff or whatever. The choice is yours.
She's kind of the female Chris Bender.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So finally, she decided to leave the both of them alone. Guess what? Her health improved drastically.
I wonder why.
Exactly. And like I said, that's the one thing that I can't understand about people. This is another point kind of like related to this, but it's like if you're in a relationship and you're supposed to be happy and everything like that, why would you entertain somebody else?
Come on.
And especially be arrogant or dare I say stupid enough to think that you're not going to get found out. Because guess what, baby? In today's day and age, with all this technology that we have, it's always somebody watching. It's always somebody willing to tell what they saw. And somebody always have a doggone phone in their hand taking pictures and taking videos. And the type of person that I am, the kind of energy and stuff that I have around me, even though I was real good at playing hide and seek as a kid, now that I'm older, I don't have to look for anything. Stuff will just come to me. And it's like, why would you even want to put yourself in that kind of situation? And for me, if you're unhappy, if you deem it necessary that you have to go and spend time with somebody else or whatever, then be a man or woman about yours and let your significant other know so that way they know which way to play it. Because it's not fair to them.
Yeah.
And if you were to put yourself in that person's shoes, you certainly wouldn't like it if they did it to you. And see, my thing is, I look at it like this. I'm not about to catch karma because you decide to be out here on some foolishness. I don't have time. I really don't.
You know what?
Getting back. Go ahead.
That remind me of something that we was once all talking about a little bit ago. And it's true to this point. A lot of people get shot up.
Come on.
Get jumped. And they ain't even got nothing to do with what's going on over there. But because you at the wrong place, at the wrong time, bullets don't have eyes.
They really don't.
Like, the situation that took place a couple of years ago, I can't forget this forever. I was going up to Dave's Supermarket here in Cleveland, over on Lee Road, and
Okay.
I remember because it was on the news. Two cars rolled up beside each other, shooting at each other. Now nobody in either car got hit, but the baby that was innocent, that was in the back seat of a parked car, while her mom ran in to pay the beautician, got hurt.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
two ignorant people had a problem and they didn't know how to solve it.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's crazy because, like you said, people can be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You can just be minding your business in your home. You could be at home, but it's like, I'm sorry, but this whole thing is more or less like, well, see, that's why I don't go out, because the world is so crazy and stuff. No, nobody is about to make me be fearful enough that I'm not about to step outside my door. I have things to do, places to go, and people to see.
All right.
Plain and simple.
Mm.
I'm not about to let, because some people want to be ignorant and stuff like. It's like every day you step out your door,
Yeah.
you're taking a chance. Like I said, you could be sitting at home chilling, minding your business, and still catch a bad one.
Yeah. Like, I just saw a video earlier today. Dude went outside to barbecue and he poured the charcoal out, and in the charcoal bag was a snake.
Oh, see? Exactly. So, like I said, I don't understand that, but so to get back to the whole karma scene, okay, migraines.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's other stuff that can happen to you, like if you seem like you can't catch a break, like, I don't know, maybe your job has cut your hours or something like that, or maybe you're having car trouble and things of that nature, and you're sitting here thinking to yourself, why me? Why is this happening to me? What did I do? Let's stop the cap. You know exactly what it is that you're doing, but you're just playing stupid to save yourself.
Amen.
And the tripped out part about it is you're not stupid by any means. You just don't want to stop doing what you're doing for whatever reason. So pretty much you bringing that crap storm down on yourself. Because if you were to make some adjustments, I promise you wouldn't keep going through what you're going through. But hey, what do I know?
You know what, sis? You just said something that sparked my brain. Remember we talked about on child abuse, all the different stuff that parents put their kids through. And it's funny that you named this karma. Go figure. Think about this. Roll with me. We gonna do about 20 miles an hour going up this street.
Okay.
Mom and dad gets divorced.
Okay.
Kids go with mom. Why? Because mom had the kids, and that's the way the system's set up to go.
Pretty much.
The dad has to pay child support.
Okay.
Mom decides to make a bunch of bad decisions.
Okay.
And picking who she chooses to date.
Right.
She don't just look at the well-being of herself. Or let me rephrase that. She's just looking at the well-being for herself and what she can get out of the relationship by entering into with that dude. She doesn't don't realize that whatever that guy, or for guy's sake, the girl, whatever you want to do, if you got kids, they're going to suffer the same penalty that you're going to suffer.
Here's the thing, bro. I'm gonna just be real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 right now. It's not that they don't realize it. They don't care, because when all is said and done, they're only thinking about themselves and what they have to gain from the potential situation that they're entering into. Because anybody worth their salt, any female worth their salt, you're not just going to allow any man or any woman around your children.
Exactly.
And trust and believe you me, those signs and red flags be bam in your face. Now, if you choose to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear, then that's on you. And the tripped out part is, yeah, a lot of people want to try to say, oh, well, my kids were always jealous of the relationship I had with them because it wasn't their daddy or this, that, and the third or whatever. Did you ever take your child's feelings into consideration? Let me go ahead and answer that for you. No, you didn't, because you were only thinking about yourself and your own good time and what needs, financial, physical, whatever else, that you were going to benefit from. Not once did you take those children into consideration, see if this person was actually going to be a good fit to be around your kids, because trust and believe you me, and baby, when I say I'm speaking from experience, I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People have a tendency to act one way in front of their significant other when the kids are around.
Yeah.
But as soon as your back is turned, you leave out the room or you leave to go run some errands. Baby, when I say that monster comes out quick, fast, and with a vengeance. That is like nothing you have ever experienced before. And then when the person comes back home, you trying to act like ain't nothing happened, ain't nothing out the ordinary.
And then you wonder why the kids looking at you crazy, because the karma that you going through, you done forced them to go along with you in this ride, and they sitting there like, ain't you supposed to be the one protecting me?
Exactly. But once again, those signs be clear as day. Your kids start acting up. They clowning in school. Depending, some of them be trying to run away. All this different other stuff. The stuff is there. It's just you want to act like you don't understand. And now I will say this: there are some, because we have some Oscar award-winning actors here that are so good that they'll have that female actually thinking that he's really down to earth and all this other stuff, and he's just this wonderful person or whatever, and she just so happy to be in love or whatever the case may be, that he knows what to do and how to do it, and especially if she's not around.
Yeah.
One of the sickest videos I ever saw some years ago. It was a gentleman, and I'm gonna say maybe like an 18-month-old little boy.
Mm.
They walked into like a little convenience store. I guess he went in there to get some snacks, drinks, whatever the crap it was. As soon as they rounded that aisle and got out of mom's eyesight, dude hauled off and punched the little boy in the chest and knocked him to the floor.
Mm.
Now keep in mind, this is a big dude, 6'2", easily 200 plus pounds. The little boy was laying there stunned for like a few seconds or whatever, and then he finally got up, and it's like he was staggering around, but he was like following in behind the dude or whatever, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, now does she know that he's doing this to this child? Or is she turning like a blind eye, or does she really not know?
And that's the $1 million question. Like, I'm sorry, because I have to be me. Mm-hmm. There is no way that somebody can tell you, or their brain is remembering something, and you try to convince them that it didn't happen. Because the one thing that I know from, if anybody paid attention in school, and we ain't even talking about college. Let's leave college out of it. Forget school, period. If you just watch the basic necessities of the Sesame Street, they taught you that, hey, if the brain can remember stuff that we may have chosen to block out, and if the brain remembers things to such an accuracy, you cannot say that it did not happen. And then you wonder why, and I just saw this post earlier, when they get older, they wind up putting you in a nursing home and don't want to have nothing to do with you. And you always like to use the word karma's gonna come back to you. No, you're reaping karma now.
Exactly. But bro, I need to touch on this right quick. Here's the thing. I actually saw a video to touch on what you're speaking of. It's not that you choose to not remember. The brain protects you.
Okay.
From those situations, from those memories of those situations that took place back in the past. Now what happens is when that stuff resurfaces,
right,
9 times out of 10 is because a current situation took place and triggered that memory. And when it comes flooding back, it's almost like the force is strong enough to knock you to the floor.
Yes.
And it comes at random. It comes out of nowhere. Because you'll be sitting there chilling, minding your business. You'll be sitting there watching whatever your favorite comedy is on TV or whatever. Be sitting there cracking up laughing, eating some food, enjoying yourself and minding your business. And something might take place in that TV show. And then all of a sudden you're taken back to the day and time of whenever that situation took place, and now it's into you all about your hookup.
Yeah.
But for me, the thing is, what I dislike, what I remember versus what you claim to remember having happened or not happened or whatever are 2 totally different things.
Come on.
Now, yes, there are some people out there that would embellish and would stretch the truth and all this other stuff or whatever the case may be. But if you're constantly hearing somebody say, oh, that didn't happen, or I don't remember it happening that way, or this, that, and the third, or whatever, that's because they're not trying to take accountability. They know exactly what happened. They're not trying to take accountability. They don't want to hear it now because they didn't do anything back then. That's what it all comes down to. Because if you would have nipped that situation in the bud back then, we wouldn't be here to talk about it today. Or it would be a slightly different conversation.
Yep. And what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Mrs. Sutton. I'm joining in on the conversation. Y'all already know how I come. You know when I hop on, I'm shooting real facts. So let's get it. One thing I understand about karma is people tend to think that karma has a deadline.
Oh, come on.
Oh, no.
And
absolutely.
And what we have to understand is this: karma doesn't have a deadline.
Come on.
Doesn't have an expiration date. Sure does not.
And the problem with this is we fail to realize that even the Bible speaks about your generations paying for things.
Come on.
Come on. You better say that.
That you have done. And I think we miss that because we're so busy talking about we want to live our best life and we want to do this and we want to do that. But we fail to realize that an impulse decision can bring about a lifetime of repercussions.
You better come on.
Because here's the thing. I can make a decision right now. And let's just use something really stupid.
Okay.
If I was 3 notches from E, why would I drive from here all the way to, let's say, Cincinnati, Ohio, and think that there is no possibility at all that I'm going to run out of gas?
I got news for you. Where you are right now, you will be doing good.
But it's the mentality of I can make it. Exactly.
I can make it.
And go ahead with this mentality of the little engine that could. and we just gonna keep chugging along.
And eventually you're going to run out of steam.
Exactly.
Right there on the track looking crazy as all get out.
And pray you don't break down in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, Lord.
Now, why did I say that? Because the problem with that is we truly be running on some real diluted gas.
Yes.
and be thinking, because we refuse to be filtered,
Yeah.
we refuse to do the necessary steps to be cleaned out and for things to be replenished. And then here we are trying to figure out, well, why is all this stuff happening to me? Well, here's the thing. Did you ever think about that you're paying the price for your ancestors?
Whoo!
Okay.
And then in correlation with the fact that you're not just paying the price of generational curses, but
Right.
you're also paying the price for your dumb decisions.
Come on, somebody.
So if you put all that in one trick bag,
Karma.
you can be going through a hell of a lot of stuff that really could have just involved you looking and saying, I'm sorry. Let me
Come on.
take ownership for. Now, it's nothing that you can do about the stuff that happened before you got here. But
Exactly.
here's the thing. Really, it is.
Yeah.
Because at some
Well,
point, somebody got to realize that something being passed down that ain't right.
Me and Sissy, it's crazy that you would say that. Me and
Exactly.
Sissy had a conversation. I don't know if it was a few weeks ago or a few months ago. And she gonna start laughing when I say this. You wondering why a certain relative of yours is aggravating your soul. Why they getting on your very last nerves to the point that you think that their parent is teaching them these things.
Sustain. Oh,
But
right.
but you, and I like what you said. You ain't figured it out. As smart as you are, I'm telling you, you are gifted. You ain't figured out that the person that you think is aggravating your soul, that ain't somebody that's been here before.
But here's the thing. While I do not believe in reincarnation, this is what I will say. We forget.
That spirit got to
We
pass down.
forget that there is a such thing called generation. So here is a prime example of that. I have a family member. If you look at this family member does not look like their mother or their father.
Nope.
But their behavior, attitude, personality, and everything is of a family member that passed on at least 2 years before they were born.
But they can't figure this out.
Now, and I mean,
Oh, is that what you think?
and I mean down,
Yeah.
I mean down to the T of the quietness, the staying to themselves, the humble mentality, and it takes a lot to provoke this individual.
Come on.
The same way it took a lot to provoke the individual that transitioned. Now,
Hello. Ain't nobody putting two and two together.
at the end of the day, we forget that genetics are
Come
not
on. 'Cause I was just about to know this.
are not just between who you decided to sleep with,
Hello.
but
We
you
reaching back on two different sides.
but you have a lineage, and the
Mhm.
person that you dealing with also has a lineage.
I'm walking away.
So
'Cause-
therefore, if you're wondering why does my child not act like this, did you pull out the old school photo out? Did you go back and trace the behaviors? Did you ask?
Oh. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you ask? Because what I find, and this is what I love, I loved watching people make impulse decisions and deal with lifelong consequences because of it. because I see it a lot.
Yeah.
And I try my best in those situations with the few little people that I do consider friends or family to give them the best advice that I can, especially when I see they about to hit a brick wall.
Yep.
Come on.
But I find that a lot of the people that call themselves friends with me is hard-headed than a son of a gun. And when that train crash,
It's ugly.
I'll be like, bruh. Because
This could have been avoided.
this show could have been avoided. But this what happens when you listen to respond and don't listen to hear.
Come on.
You could avoid a lot of karma
Yeah.
if you learn to
Yes.
shut your mouth.
Yes.
And listen.
Because people tend to think that karma is just, oh, well, I just got to pay because I mistreated somebody.
Nah.
No.
It's the result of you not understanding that this world is designed to work a certain way.
Listen,
have-
it's a biblical proportion that God said. Listen, when your ancestors did something crazy, that their generations
Right.
is going to have to pay for what you done.
And as a matter of fact, he put a number on them generations.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correctly, I believe he said 7.
Yeah, 7 generations.
But the thing about it is that, yeah, I find that a lot. The hard-headedness and people who don't listen, especially these ones who don't understand transference of spirits,
Yeah.
Come on.
you playing penis hopping around,
Yeah.
and you catching karma about somebody because you slept with somebody and don't even understand why you're off kilter.
Right.
While you don't understand because you done picked up somebody else's spirit
Yeah.
because you're not doing your investigation. We take things too lightly. This world was designed, every stage of a life was
Yeah.
created for you to be taught something.
Yep.
And that means that a lot of things you shouldn't have to go through because
You should have learned it in
here's
the
a
last
prime
stage.
example.
Okay.
I watched certain family members of mine go through a lot of stuff. Being that I'm the baby, I got front row seats to a lot of crazy stuff growing up.
Okay.
Because there is a significant age difference between me and my siblings.
Okay.
And we ain't talking about no 1 year and a half and Irish twin crap. We talking about generations, okay?
Wow. Okay.
Because of that, I've gotten front row knowledge to stuff that I wasn't even supposed to be privy to with my little self, okay?
Okay.
But instead of being mad about it, I respect it. Because it taught me what to look for, what to watch for, and what to pay attention for. See, we too busy around trying to shield the next generation from reality.
You better come on.
And as a result, because we've shielded them from reality, we're giving them more karma than we should.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Because-
I couldn't agree more.
Because you want to sit up there and say, oh, a child needs to stay in a child place, and oh, I'm going to make this decision because this is something I want. And what you're not realizing is you're not the only one that has to pay for it.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
And it doesn't just go away once you decide to wise up as the adult
No, they still got to live with that.
and walk away from the situation. Because whatever you present in front of somebody, that's what they think is okay. And people don't get that. So your child paying the price of an abusive relationship
For something you done done.
because of what you displayed
Yes.
in front of them. And now that they grown and they done got connected to somebody that's toxic, now you're crying out for that kid, but what did you do to help?
Not a doggone thing.
So now they're paying, they catching it, excuse my language, but I gotta be real. Now they catching 10 times your ass whoopings
Whew.
Because of the choices and the decisions you made for them.
But they did the best that they could.
No, I'm sorry. The best that you could. And here's the thing: there is no manual on this thing.
No.
And people swear it is, but it's not. There is no manual on this. It's just called basic decency. Don't murder your children. Don't starve them. Give them clean clothes. That's basic parenting 101.
And you don't get gold stars and kudos and flowers and pats on the back for basic stuff, the stuff you're supposed to be doing that will keep your ass out of prison and your children out of the system.
Exactly.
But what do I know?
But the thing about it is, when reality sets in, we don't realize that a part of that karma is trauma.
Oof.
Right.
Because of the relationships we chose to get involved in without thoroughly doing our research before we drug our children in it with us.
Come on.
Because of the decisions that we made to just move Tom, Dick, and Harry in our house, and now our children got to deal with years worth of karma and trauma in therapy because of what you done opened the door for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, they never heal from it.
Exactly.
Because it's been more or less like ingrained in them that there is nothing wrong. There's nothing to heal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the sad part about it is, once that child grows up and get into a relationship, now their significant other is subconsciously paying the price for somebody else's choices and decisions and somebody else's karma.
And it's not fair.
And it's like getting in a relationship with somebody who's shell-shocked. So you mean to tell me that I got to keep every window in my house closed, every curtain drawn, and I got to dive on the floor every time somebody's muffler sound bad down the street because you got shell-shocked?
You know what? Point taken.
But we don't think about this stuff before we decide to play jump the broom. We don't think about...
Hold up. If you jump the broom.
Right, if you jump the broom, or just getting involved in a long-term situation with them, period. Because we don't investigate. Ooh, there it go. Thank you, Lord. We don't want to investigate somebody else's demons.
Right. Come on.
And because if I'm going to play with Lucifer, I need to know what I'm playing with. Because as a spiritual person, I need to know what I need to protect myself from, my lineage from, and what I need to be warned against. If it's even my job to do that. Because a lot of times we take on stuff that we ain't got no business taking on, and then here go that word karma.
All because of who we choose to deal with.
Exactly. So now we're in committed relationships with folks, and we didn't know them in the first place, and and now we done drug kids, families, connecting ties, and all of this other stuff, and then you trying to figure out why you getting beat up in your sleep at night. Oh, because they having horrible dreams and knocking you upside the head in the process.
Right.
Because you didn't investigate your demons. You didn't investigate the trauma. You didn't learn about that person. And this all stems from, again, karma. Because, again, you're not just dealing with the karma that they caused, but you're dealing with generations of karma that was passed on to them.
Exactly.
So I had to learn personally to do something that pisses my significant other off. I'm going to call a spade if I see it.
Thank you.
I'm going to call that devil straight out because I'm not dealing with it.
Right.
And I expect the same thing. Because ultimately it is not fair to put other people in spiritual warfare for some stuff that they ain't got nothing to do with.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yes,
And then
we gotta be protective. We gotta be careful. But more importantly, we gotta learn to take our time with stuff. To investigate stuff. To look at stuff. To really dive into another person's history.
right.
And then what gets me is those who want to be closed off about it. I ain't gonna have nothing to do with you if you can't be honest with me.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because that shows me that you're not ready to heal.
No. And
So
what we not going to do every time I bring up an issue or something that bothers me or whatever, then you want to try to gaslight me and manipulate me and try to make me feel bad or throw out the fact that, oh, well, you had a rough childhood or you didn't get love from this parent, the other parent wasn't there, this, that, and the third. And it's like every time I said, it could be about me saying, I hate that you drive my car. And then by the time you bring it'll be a full tank of gas, but then by the time you get finished riding around, going wherever you want to go, it's back on empty. And you want to bring up your childhood. No, that's not what, because you're not taking accountability, nor are you trying to take the necessary steps to help you move past all of that what, took place earlier on in your life. You don't get to use that as an excuse to not have accountability.
Right.
What does you driving all the gas out my car, me telling you about that, have to do with your mother not loving you?
Not nothing.
oh, but believe me,
Exactly.
that whole trauma thing, and that's the thing. We say we want to break generational curses.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we got to figure out what the curses are before we can break them.
Whew.
Because everything ain't a generational curse. But if you don't take the time to figure out what that is, then you don't even know what you need to be warned against. And then if you're adding extra people into that situation, then you're giving other people power to use your weaknesses to play on your mental.
The craziest thing I've ever found out, and my sister and wife both helped me understood this. Other people can see the weaknesses that you don't have, because your weaknesses always are on public display.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't dawn on me until here recently that I was able to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
And we talking about the battles that folks got to fight in the karma that they fighting for previous stuff. Let's go back.
Mm-hmm.
If I am in a relationship with someone and all we do is argue, let me take 15 minutes, sit down, and think back in my brain. Okay. My parents always argue.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much you're just emulating what it is that you saw growing up.
Exactly.
Because that was the norm for you.
Come on.
Yep. And that's the thing. Not knowing how to fight fairly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no such thing as, oh, I'm going to get married and we don't never have a disagreement. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if it's a marriage, a relationship, and that ship applies to friendship, whatever. There is not going to be a time that y'all are not going to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is how you disagree.
You disagree. All right. Because some people like to get downright grimy with it, hitting below, taking jabs and shots hitting below the belt.
Yeah, see, I ain't got time for all that. I just had to tell a friend of mine, we were supposed to go link up. She said she was like, can we do tomorrow? I had to politely decline. Like I said, I have a life. I don't do stuff during the week, and I got added responsibilities.
One of the most powerful books I've ever read is called The 10 Rules of Dating by Dr. R.A. Vernon. And in that book, he states in big bold letters, before you and whoever you choose get married, you need to go to at least one family reunion. Because you need to see the personalities of the other family. So you know what you signing up for or agreeing to when you stand in front of God and say, I promise to marry this person and cherish this person and do everything I need to do for the rest of my life. So when they start acting like another relative in the family, you know that that's part of their lineage.
Right, because ultimately the thing about it is I don't care how much we hoop and holler who we don't want to be like.
If it's in the family,
The
it's in the family.
reality of it is you're and once you get to a certain age,
You're going to come.
you're able to pick and choose what you want to take and what you don't. But
Right.
once you start involving yourself in adult activities,
Yep.
it's not just your family lineage in mixing with your own
No more.
personality. It's also their personalities and their family lineages as well.
Like me and Miss Sutton already decided, when the future Suttons get here, we've already made our choice. You ain't gonna have to decide it. We gonna sign ourselves up for a nursing home, because it's not the fact that we going in there to prevent y'all from taking care of us. No, we know our lineage, and before we get to the retarded phase, we're going to let you go ahead and do your thing and live your life, because we don't want to manipulate them into, well, you know, look at all these stretch marks and scars I got for all the work that I've done for you over the years. Because people don't understand it. That manipulation is a very, very strong attack. Instead of teaching kids, okay, if you do this, you'll earn this. But what we do is, well, if you don't clean your room, I'm not taking you to McDonald's. Or I'm not taking you to the grocery store. Or I won't do that. But we're threatening and manipulating at the same time.
Yeah.
Instead of teaching. One of the things I love about my niece, and I got a lot of them, but the one in particular is the youngest one of them all. That girl is heavily smart. And she's very grateful. I have a few of my nieces like that. One I don't claim because she's a little special, but the ones that I have a relationship with, they got a pretty good head on their shoulders. But with saying that, she even taught me something. And it was crazy because I almost missed what she said. And it was kind of the same segments that my other niece said. You gotta watch people. You gotta watch how they move. And you also have to watch how they talk. One of my older nieces stated that if you're around a group of your friends and one of them make a joke about you, listen to the details in that joke.
Because it's true to
Because how they feel about you, or ha 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 in the joke, is how they really do feel about you.
Truly feel. Exactly.
Yep.
My niece, and I love her, we back to the baby girl. We just celebrated her birthday here recently and something else that she was doing. We all linked up at Sync 71.
75.
Yeah, 70, okay, I was all about phone numbers. But
Right.
675. Unexpectedly. And I caught something that I didn't think she paid attention to. She was like, "Oh no," she like, "I saw that," and she said, she said, not only did I saw it, she said, I've been watching it," and she was like, "No, it's all good. That's just how they carry on." But she said, I get it, and I appreciate you looking out for me because if I really hadn't been paying attention, yeah, that would look a little fishy.
Right. And that's the thing. The thing, again, like I said, we have to pay attention
To details.
to the karma.
Yeah.
Because, again, karma is not just designed for what you did.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just designed for what your family members did before you. It's also designed for what you put yourself in and who you connect yourself with too.
Yeah. People see. I'm glad people forget that.
Mm-hmm.
You could be. You don't even. You could come. You could have a great lineage, but if you go and connect yourself with some messed up stuff,
Yep.
then you just started a generational curse for your lineage that they don't even know about and you don't know about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to touch on the point that you just made, more or less, like in regards to your niece saying that, you know, she peeped what was going on and she was grateful that you brought it to her attention and everything like that. Here's the thing. Speaking as an only child,
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak for all of us,
Right.
but speaking as an only child, it's like it's a major difference between us versus those that have at least one sibling.
Yeah.
And the thing is, depending on how you were raised, who you were raised, and what your environment was, and things of that nature, and 9 times out of 10, if the situation kind of like tends to be a little bit on the toxic side,
Ooh.
at a very early age, you start to pay attention to details.
Mm.
What's going on around you. You can tell when people's demeanors and temperaments and things change. You can tell, you can listen, and you can hear it in their conversation, like if their voice takes on a hard tone to it versus them being easygoing and things of that nature. And one of the things that I've always prided myself on is that I always make sure that I'm paying attention and peeping my surroundings.
Yeah.
So for me, I really don't miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll sit here and have you thinking that I'm not listening and paying attention to what you're saying, because I might be, nodding my head back and forth or have my eyes closed or look like I'm staring off into space or whatever. I'm catching everything that you're throwing out here.
Mm.
I'm catching it all. And then it's like I just determine when and how I want to utilize that information.
Okay.
And my thing is this. Don't ever try to be slick on somebody that's observant like that, because they see everything that you do. They hear everything that you say. They know when you switch up, when your words don't match your actions and all this other stuff. And if that observant person just so happens to miss something, it's because you went above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that you tried to keep it out of their eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the funny part. They even see when you're doing that, and they just looking at it like, wow, you really think that I don't see you digging this big old deep hole over there and tossing all this stuff in or whatever, trying to cover your tracks and whatnot. Oh, okay. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit, like I said, I pick and choose and everything like that. But, yeah, very observant. Very observant. So, and like I said, she get it honest. She get it honest. So, like I said, and you have to remember, kids pick up stuff. They're paying attention. They're listening. Kids talk too. So you might think you being nickel slick and getting over on some stuff, or, she didn't hear the little comment that you mumbled under your breath, this, that, and the third, or whatever. She caught it. But she's not going to say anything because that old adage that she's going to stay in a child's place.
Yeah.
And that's all right because she got somebody that will go to bat for her.
Yes, she does.
And don't care and don't care if somebody gets upset about it or whatnot.
And now that's a part of that breaking
Yep.
those generational cycles.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because it's a difference between curses and cycles.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, curses is something you really got. Curses deal with more along the lines of alcoholism, physical abuse, verbal abuse. It was, well, my daddy hit my mama, so now I gotta hit you. Those are more so curses.
Okay.
When we break cycles, we're talking about the toxicity in it all. The way your parents spoke to you, oh, you are to be seen and not heard.
What does that even mean?
Women and children, especially in those ages, were to be seen and not heard. We're talking about, oh, I'm making all the money and you're the child, so you're going to remain broke so that you can constantly have to depend on me. Those are breaking cycles.
Even though I'm over the age of 18.
It don't matter.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to make sure we clarify that.
You know, so we break cycles by putting a stop to those old cliches of I don't listen to my child's opinion because my child doesn't have an opinion.
Exactly.
You can't express yourself.
Your feelings are invalidated. Like you said, you don't have an opinion. Your thoughts and stuff don't matter because you don't contribute to the situation. Because pretty much everything is based upon you being grown. Well, I got news for you. It's a lot of quote unquote grown people out here that still don't have a clue.
I promise you. But I had somebody's parent. I'm gonna say this, and we're down to like 4 minutes. So I'm gonna say this and make everybody laugh. Because if y'all, you know, a lot of y'all don't know me personally, but for my inner crew, they know I'm touched.
What are you about to say?
So some years ago, I had a parent tell a child, you know, well, I'm not giving you nothing and you don't deserve no money, and if it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't have to pay all these bills. Well, I just happened to be present for this conversation, so what I did was I pulled the child to the side and I asked the child, I said, do you trust me? They said, yes, TT, I trust you. I said, okay.
Oh, Lord.
I said, so the next time your mama tell you that you can't have something because of what you don't do, I want you to tell your mama that she wouldn't have the tax money she have if it wasn't for you.
I quit.
But that is straight facts. Come on,
She
somebody.
looked at me. She said, can I say that? I said, only because I'm here you can, because I'm not going to let your mama do nothing to you.
Exactly.
The next thing you know, here come her mama. I just got the light bill and you be keeping that TV on. And it just so happened to be around what? Tax season. So what did my little baby say? She said, well, mommy, you got that large income tax because of me. You can afford to pay the bill.
Come on. Now, let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason why that child was able to make that statement and not have to worry about any potential fallout is because there was an adult there that was locked and loaded and ready to bring it if that child's mama decided to get beside herself.
For the kids that's under the age of 18, do not try this if you do not have the security backing of someone that you trust wholeheartedly. End of quote.
Exactly.
Now, when the mama's head spit and said, what the F did you say to me? She said, well, it's true, isn't it, mommy? Didn't you get over $1,000 and something of income for me and my brother and sister? So I think you can afford to pay the light bill this time.
Oh, wow. That's interesting because that child was able to add down to the whole dollar amount in cents how much one was getting for that.
So needless to say, the mama tried to go on attack mode, in which I took baby and pushed baby behind me and say, do something.
Mm-hmm.
I bet the next time she asked you for some money, you would give it to her, correct?
Ooh.
But see, here's the thing about that. It's the beautiful thing that you actually were in place to be that buffer. Because you got a lot of adults who be on some cowardly foolishness, and what they choose to do, they choose to lay in wait until there is no other adult
Yeah.
or person that will come to that child's rescue. They pick and choose what they say, when they say it, what they do, and all that other stuff. And my thing is, say that while I'm in house.
And I made it perfectly known. I said, "Oh, don't think because I'm leaving that you can square up on this baby." I said, "Cause you don't know where I got eyes." I said
Thank you.
and I said, "And if I come back and there is a mark, there is a bruise or anything on her," I said, "You already know how I get down." I said, "You know who I'm connected to." I said, "So I suggest you not play this game."
And see, that's the part that killed me, what people fail to realize or understand. And like I said, when I stated this earlier and everything like that, it's like you got eyes and ears everywhere. You don't know who's listening. You don't know who's watching or whatever the case may be. And like I said, the type of person that I am, stuff comes to me. I don't have to see it personally. I don't have to hear it personally. But I might get a text message. I might get a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I might even get a photo and or a video that comes up in my feed and stuff like that. So ask yourself, is what you're doing really worth it? Because here's the funny part. The funny part about it is while you thinking you're getting away with murder, doing what you're doing and all this other stuff, me and mine gonna be tipping up out the door.
Yep.
And we're gonna go on about our business.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to show you how smooth I am, I'm not gonna even give you fair warning in advance. I'm not gonna open my mouth and say a word. Just look up and know that you don't see us anymore.
And I promise you, and it was such a slick thing because guess what? Every year up until that child turned 18, that child got some money deposited on their prepaid debit card out of that income tax money. Because I had a sidebar conversation and was like, what is up with that? Why you can't give your kids no money and you got the money because of your kids? You really think your job gonna pay you that much?
Well, you know what?
Thank you.
There was a conversation that I heard, and it kind of went like this. And as funny as it is, it's really sad. Remember the episode from the little scene from Matilda? I'm big, you're small. I'm
Yes.
right, you're wrong. There's nothing you can do about it. Flip it in reverse. I'm the adult. I have to pay all these bills. You got a roof over your head, which is still funny to me. You eat good, and you got clothes on your back and shoes on your feet. What else do you need?
Well, how about this? As she got wise in her decisions and decided it was a good idea to break the kids off a little bit of money, and I told that individual, I said, I'm not telling you to give these little babies $5,000 a piece.
Oh, no.
I'm like, but
Oh,
at
no, I wouldn't
least,
agree to that.
I said, but at least set them up. I said, because that's only fair. I said, you're complaining about a light bill, but wouldn't you have to pay a light bill whether they was here or not?
Come
And
on,
this
somebody.
is an argument that I have with a lot of people who be like, well, my baby daddy need help. No. These are
Right.
bills that you would have to pay as an adult,
Come on.
regardless to whether you got children or not. So
Right.
all of that mess about, oh, it wouldn't be this expensive if, how you know that?
Exactly.
You don't know that because you don't know your supplier.
I,
You don't know none of that mess. So you don't know how much it would truly cost you. And that's what I
I
mean when
just
I
find
say
it funny that let's pick up a number, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old that can barely turn on the TV and lights somehow need collectively combined over $1,500 a month in support. But the one thing that I'm hearing about this argument why it shouldn't be no questions asked for the guys that's not for the men that's on it, they simply say, okay, I don't have a problem with paying child support, which is about 48% of them. But why is it every time I pick the kids up, they got on dirty clothes, they talking about they hungry, but whoever the dude of the month, the new dude is, he got a brand new PS5, the latest Jordan or LeBron's, a big old fat screen TV, and y'all eating lobster.
I mean, I feel all of that, but that's the point of breaking the generational curses, and the generational cycles. Because unfortunately, again, it doesn't just karma isn't just based off of what you do personally, and this is why it is so important to really know your family history.
Yep.
Because I need to know what the heck I'm paying for, because I want to know how crazy y'all was before I was even thought of.
Hey.
And that's the part. And when we break cycles, again, cycles are more so the financial abuse size. Oh, I'm not giving my kids no money. Oh, you gotta quit school at a certain age and start working to provide with your family. Those are more so cycles.
Here's the crazy.
Curses come down into, like I said, people, alcoholism.
Yeah.
Fathers walking out on their kids. And my daddy didn't raise us, so I'm not raising none of my kids. That stuff.
Here's the craziest thing.
Mommy being a little slut out here.
Here's the craziest thing I found out. And this came from 40% of the men online. They was giving the mother of their child almost $3,000 to $4,000 a month. But when she went and put him on child support, she got mad when he no longer was given that amount, but only paid the amount that he was ordered to pay, which was way less than that.
It's always going to be way less than that, but that's the whole point. The fact of the matter is that this was an amazing topic to bring up, because I think we needed to be aware of what karma really is. And also, hopefully, it'll allow our fans and even ourselves, to really go back and dig deep into our own lineages.
Yeah.
To see what curses we need to be dealing with. Looking into the background of our significant others to make sure, to see what we actually paying for. And watching our own karma and the things that we do, so that our generations don't have to pay for it.
Oh yes, I love this topic. It was phenomenal. Superman, you got any final words for the folks?
Basically, just be mindful of your actions.
Whew.
Because you might think you getting away with murder and you being nickel slick. When you least expect it, your whole world will be flipped upside down on the turn of a dime. And I know a few people personally that are going through it, and they're too stubborn because they're not stupid, far from it, but they're too stubborn to realize that that's what's going on. But hey, what do I know?
Hey.
Yo, this is AF After Effects. I am King Solomon Jr.
Y'all already know it is your girl, Mrs. Sutton.
And of course, I'm the one and only Superman's daddy.
Until the next time, ciao.
Peace.